Alright, in the last video we learned how to change some of the settings in the drawing settings window that would bring in either individual or combine the details, and then we opened them up and moved them around in the CAD program, the included CAD program. So there's another way to do this. Let's say we just want to open an elevation and then add some details to that drawing. The one drawback in this CAD program is it won't let you copy objects from one sheet to another sheet. It lets you copy them within a sheet, but for the life of me, I don't think it can copy from one sheet to another, which I think is kind of lame. Which is another reason we recommend like AutoSketch and other CAD programs. But the answer to that problem is we can do what's called an insert block. So let's say I go back to shop drawings, and I've actually got my different sheets or sets here, but I want to go to my elevation and open that in CAD. So since this is what I want to add the details to, this is the one I'm opening. So we wait until it opens here. Okay, now I've got my elevation, and what I want to do is add some details to it. So I go to Insert and then Insert Block, and that brings up a window, and it's actually bringing up a few different blocks. So I'm going to pick the objects that I want to use. Now there's a ton of things listed here, so I'm not really sure where all these things come from, but I'm assuming that the things that I recognize, like head, vertical, sill, jam, those things are, they apply to the elevation that I have here. So I've clicked the head, and I can click OK. Now with my mouse, you'll notice that the detail is kind of attached to my cursor here. So I'm going to place it like right here. All I did was left click. So now I'm going to insert block again, and I'm going to go down. So it might be a little trial and error if you click the wrong detail. Like you can preview it here, but that's so small I can't see what it's doing. Oh, and I can actually scroll through the list, which is kind of cool. So instead of having to click on the drop down, select it, and look at it, you can just click in here and scroll. So that's the head. That looks like a horizontal, so I'm going to click on that one. And it puts it in my little cursor, and I'm going to click it here. So let's do one more, and then we'll show you how to scale it. So I'm going to click in this preview, or actually I'm going to click up here. I guess you have to select one first, and then it'll let you scroll. So we just select one first from the list. This looks like a sill, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and I'm going to place that here. Okay, so now these are tiny, right? So your elevation's big, these are tiny. I actually want to make these bigger. So I want to click Modify, Scale, and then I want to select what I want to scale. So I'm left clicking to select it, to select each of the details, and then I right click. And then the easiest thing to do, I could actually click and drag the drawing, but it's kind of squirrely. So I feel like I have a lot more control if I go over here to the scale value and change it. So I'm going to make it a 3. So it's just a numeric value. The higher the number, the bigger it is. So notice how those got a lot bigger, right? Oh, and it's actually, I'm still in scale mode, so it was still trying to do it with the cursor, with the mouse. I'm going to go over here and click Escape. Now they're kind of overlapping now, which is not good because they were kind of too close together. So something to think about when you place them on the screen. If you're going to scale them, give yourself some room. So I'm going to move this way down here by the sill. That makes sense anyway. So now I'm moving them again. So I'm clicking Modify Move. I left click, I right click, and I'll put that one in the middle since it's a horizontal. And now I've got my head up here. So now they're a little more realistically sized, depending on the scale you're drawing. So you're going to have to mess with the scale of these, which I just went to Modify, Scale, and you can either change one, or if you left click on each one, you can change them individually. Then you right click to kind of activate that feature. So let's just make it a 5 and see how that looks right now. So Notice we're changing the X and Y axis separately, but once you do both, they're proportionally. And I'm going to go down here, hit escape to cancel out of that command. So there, I made them a little bit bigger. So depending on how big you're going to print your elevation will determine how big you want your details. So that's a way to open details, put them into a, or to add details to an elevation. The other way is when you go back to the program and we're looking at our sets here of our shop drawings. The other way is to open it up in CAD like we did in the other video. I'll just go ahead and do it. We open it up in CAD. It brings it in as its own sheet. So you'll notice this doesn't have the elevation on it. But I can click and move these around and scale them and get my single sheet all set up. And then you can save that too. If you want to save it to your own name, you know, name it yourself. Save it as a DWG file though for our program to recognize it. And then once you do that, you can actually go in to the framing system. You can go into the framing system and ignore that phone ringing. Go into the framing system and change the file name so that it opens your detail file. So when we do that, we can either do it for the job or the framing system in general. So let's go back to 35. I'm going to go to 35 here and I'm going to edit that. Then I'm going to go back to the stock lengths tab. And then this here is a system file name. So I can actually add, if I saved it, I can add that file to here and it'll open that file. So that basically you've created your own system file with our little CAD tool. You've saved it and then you can tell our program to open it. So you don't really have to do all the individual ones anymore. You can wipe those fields out right here and just create your own or add your own name here, and then you've got your own detail system that you're opening. So that's it for this video.